I would like green chicken wing with the fried rice. I be like, I would like green chicken wing with the fried rice. I be like, I would like green chicken wing with the fried rice. Used to eat Chinese on the lake. Well, hello everyone. Another Yankee happy recap, and I thought that song was appropriate for Mr. Ben Rice. Wow, 4 for 4, 4 for 5 actually. The last one doesn't count, but what a night! What a night for them. Kudos to the team. They looked alive. It was a little yucky in the beginning, but the end result, when you say that 27th out, that's what counts. Without further ado, of course, we have a nice co-host here with me, and you might know this gentleman, Ken from The Ugly Truth. Ken, welcome to the victorious Yankee Mania show. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. I was at Mass, and I was chomping at the bit. I wanted to check my phone so bad, but people all around me, my wife sitting next to me, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to get sculled if I open my phone up to check the score in a Yankees game.
Yeah, that's true. We're not talking about the World Series here. No, but
I did have my grandson with me, and he had to go to the bathroom while we were during Mass. So when we rolled out to the bathroom, I checked my phone. I was like, "All right, we're up 1-0, good to go."
Yeah, no, I felt that the umpire was squeezing Warren a little bit. I was actually listening to to Ace, and he didn't agree. He agreed that he was all over the place. And then as soon as I said that, he made a bad call. And then Ace said, "Well, you know what? You might be right." Because he was squeezed on a few of those pitches, but it's okay. I mean, obviously everything worked out, and the Yankees came up with another big win, and they showed heart, they showed grit. I think the frustration of Chaz Chisholm came out a little bit in that last inning, although again, he might have been right on the call.
Trust me, Jazz was right on the call. That was a shit call that the umpire made when he got
Well,
rung up.
like I said, the umpire needs to go back to school, guys, because he was off all night. Some people agreed with me, some people didn't agree with me, but the bottom line is, yes, it was without a doubt. So I'm pretty excited. With Ben Rice is unbelievable. We talked about him today, and obviously he's not going to get 4 hits a night. But the one thing we do know is he is really developing. Thank God they didn't trade him for anyone. There was a lot of talk to get a rise for him. There was this, there was that, and the Yankees thought better of it. They kept him, and I'm very, very excited and very happy. Shout out to Sean Browning, Chad. Well, I'm just going to put this up. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, Chaz, he's got him. He definitely has them. Rice has been more consistent. But let's give a shout out also to Paul G now, guys. I mean, Paul G has just been unbelievable. Oswaldo Cabrera, he doesn't play all that much, but he does get the job done. Let's face it, there's no question about it, everyone. So that was amazing. Ken, before
I will tell you what, though, that play that Judge had on Misner that gunned him at third stopped them running on the outfield completely.
Oh, 100%. That was a great throw. That was, you can't. One thing that's great, or two things that are great. If you have Judge out there and you have Bellinger and even Grissom, you've got three cannons out there. Grissom has a pretty decent arm too. So, Dominguez is okay, but these other three is definitely the stop sign, no question about it. Before we go in, I just wanted to update everybody with scores. Ken, we have Texas 5-3, top of the eighth against the Angels. The Diamondbacks, that game just ended. Well, they ended. Of course, they beat the Marlins 6-4. The Pirates won 1-0 on the Nationals. The Mariners are scoring runs. They won 11-7 final against Cincinnati in 10. The Oakland Eight, well, Oakland, listen, we got to get used to not calling them Oakland. The Athletics won 8-0 over the Chicago White Sox. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Francisco Giants 6-4. The Baltimore Orioles beat the Cleveland Guardians 6-2. The Tigers beat Kansas City 6-1. The New York Mets beat the St. Louis Cardinals 4-1. And I got a little note here. Soto did nothing again. We're not gonna touch base with that anymore. It's somebody else's problem. It's not our problem anymore, guys. So I mean, I don't mind if you guys want to talk a little bit about it, but let's enjoy the Yankee win. That made me talk for a day that there's no game. And I think Ken will agree with me. Really, enough's enough with that. When the Yankees play the Mets, we'll worry about it.
Yep.
So did
He's-
you?
he's-
You got
He's
to
gone.
see. Right.
There's no point in dealing with Soto. Mets fans like to come at us about getting Soto. Frankly, I don't care. I don't think that we have the. I don't think that we have the team that we have if we re-sign him.
No, I agree with you.
Thank you for your year's service and helping us get to the series. Good luck in with the Mets.
Oh, totally agree with that. No question about it. But again, we have to move on with that, folks. We're in first place. Let's not worry about 2024. There's a lot of good things coming down the pike. So let's enjoy what's going on. I do have a comment though, Ken. I'm not sure if you'll agree with me or not because it's kind of early. But I want to talk about. I'm following Jesse Rodriguez in the minor leagues. This guy is raking everywhere. Double A, triple A, you name it. This guy's raking, and I believe he's at 364 now in triple A, and it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing against JC, but it wouldn't surprise me because Yankees need a catcher that bats right-handed. Let's face it, we need all the right-handed hitting now that we can get. I never thought I'd be saying that, the prior years, but we could definitely use a right-handed catcher. How do you feel about that?
You know what? Escara has handled the staff well. Nobody's really expecting him to be a raker at the dish, and if we bring this kid up, he's going to play once, maybe twice a week if he's lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to get the consistent at bats, and that may be Escara's problem also. He's not getting consistent at bats because he's hitting very well in spring training, but he played a ton.
Right. Oh, yeah, because they wanted to see what they had. No
Right.
question. No question about that. But it's going to be an incredible problem as we talked about it before. Giancarlo Stanton goes to Aaron Boone. Hey, Skip, I'm ready. What do the Yankees do? That is gonna, and I'm not. And please, no injuries, no anything. I don't want to put a whammy on anybody. What do you do? It's a great problem. But Ken, knowing the Yankees for so many years and all of that, and obviously we're not the managers, what would you do?
Well, you've got to think that Stanton, when he comes out, he's not going to be an everyday bat. They're going to work him in to groove. So I can see him splitting time with Ben Rice. Rice is obviously not going to get as many at bats. They may use him at first base to get him in the lineup to give Goldschmidt a day off. Not depending on how Wells is doing, he may get a day behind the dish. So, Boone's a smart guy. He'll figure out how to get him into the lineup.
Shout out to a new person that's in our stream here that I haven't seen, and I want to thank Nagy too. Go Yankees, that a boy. How are you? Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, please let us know. Thank you. Again, brand new here, so I want to give a shout out to. Let's give him a little clap here for coming to New York Yankee Mania and Ken, the ugly truth. If you want to know a lot of nostalgia, if you also want to be a lot on his show, that is the show to go look at and listen to. I saw it. He was gracious enough to put me on this morning. Thank you, Ken. And I love the content. And I am so happy that you're involved with us. And anything, obviously, reciprocate we could do for you, we will definitely do for you. So I thank you. So finally, people are getting a little bit more friendly. Get into the talk with us, guys. I know you're out there. Just come on, press the like button, subscribe, tell your friends Yankee Mania is here. Tell your friends the ugly truth is here. And believe me, you will not be disappointed. You will definitely not be disappointed. Sean Browning, we had him on today. He's in the chat, and he says, welcome. Okay. No, that was another one. I'm sorry. Send Reyes down, platoon, Big G, and Rice. Okay.
Right, I'm gonna address this one. Reyes has no options, no minor league options. So if we do anything with him, he's DFA'd. He'll be out of the Yankee organization unless he passes through waivers and elects to go to the minor leagues down there at Scranton. I'm not seeing a veteran ball player actually doing that. If there's a chance that he can hook on with another team, he was with the Red Sox last year. He had one disastrous game with us and hasn't touched the field since. He may go somewhere else and be able to play. So just that putting that one out there. And Reyes is one of those right-handed bats too.
Well, honestly, in scanning the dugout, I know it goes fast, but there are times that they do put it. I have not even seen him in the dugout. I mean, obviously he's there. Where, I don't know. Maybe he's in the bullpen. But normally you would see all the backup players. But when they pan around, I never see him on the dugout. I don't know what that means, but I'm just giving an observation.
I want to give a shout out to Oswald Peraza. Came in after Jazz got pumped, had two very solid plays. The diving slide into the outfield that he threw, I can't remember the batter, threw out that looked like me. It was in the ninth. It was going to be a solid hit, and he canked it. Like I said, Peraza is not a great hitter, but he's by far the best defensive glove we have in the Yankee organization at any tier, including the major leagues.
Well, Lapan Jr. I guess will fight for that also. He's very good defensive also. So, but I see where you're coming from. I see why the Yankees. I mean, obviously, if it's going to be between Reyes and Oswaldo Peraza, you know who they're going to keep. I mean, there's not even a question of that. So I tell you, and bad on me that I did not see. But last year at this time, do you know what our record was? I haven't got a chance to check it to see where we're at. And I see another one of our big contributors, Jonathan, is here. What do you say, Ken? Should we put him on?
Sure, bring him up.
All right. Okay.
The record last year at this time was better than this season. We started out taking 4 from the Astros, then we followed up by taking 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks, and I think we won the next two series on top of that. So we had a better series record last year. Of course, we started.
Well, we started what 4-0, right?
Yeah, we started in the middle of the country where it was warm, and definitely not where we started this year. We've been sitting in rainy, frozen tundra from hell, and we got down there to Tampa, our old stomping grounds, and thank God it wasn't the Trop. You can see the familiarity with our boys in George M. Steinbrenner Field. You saw the hats off to Oswaldo Cabrera for his first dinger of the season. It wasn't long, but it was good enough.
Yes, it was fine. It looks good on the scorecard. Want to welcome Jonathan. How you doing, Jonathan? And by the way, shout out. Thank you so much for the compliment about the pregame today. I really appreciate that, and thanks again for that, for your help and for your comments for the channel. I really appreciate that. Your thoughts?
Today's game was very, very good. The only thing was Will Warren, his pitch count got high very quickly. He could not.
Well, he got squeezed a little bit. Let's face it.
He got squeezed a bit, but I was predicting him to go 5 innings.
Well, believe me, Aaron Boone was too. Yeah, Ken.
Well, he didn't make the cut, but Yarbrough and Hill definitely ate some innings for us. Yarbrough did give up.
You all know that.
A couple runs.
That's my boy, Mr. Hill.
I think he had 63? Was it 63 in inning and third, 2/3, or 53?
No, yeah, I believe he was in the 60s in his pitch count.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. What about Yarbrough? Kudos to him too. Yarbrough threw a lot of
53 pitches.
Okay.
Yes. I
53
mean,
pitches is a lot of pitches for a bullpen guy.
2 innings. He got only 5 outs.
But he was. I mean, I'm telling you, Yarbrough saved us. Then that great, there was some really good plays. There was finally some clutch hitting. Actually, I believe I texted someone that I said, here we go again. It's the Yankees do this all the time, and it's the magic against the Tampa Bay and a lot of teams. They don't hit the clutch, and I was like, here we go, and we're not even in the Trop. And then things had changed, and finally, we actually won the first game of the series against Tampa. That's saying a lot. That really is saying a lot. I'm very impressed with some of the guys. I really am. Volpe made a great play. He didn't get the out, but he did make a great play up the middle. That was very solid. So there were a lot of positives that came out of the game.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Does Ben Rice remind you a little bit of Kevin Moss when he first came up?
Oh no, please. No.
When he first came up, not after, not his second year.
Yeah.
And when Moss first came up, he had a good solid 2 months, I think, if I remember correctly. And then
he hit 11 home runs in spring training and came up, hit 1, and then that was it. And then his bat went sayonara. So, that was it. With he was the 1 month wonder. He kept his bats in Florida. But the real good thing, I think that the three of us would definitely concur. Williams is getting closer and closer and closer. I watched a cast of SNY, which many people might know that obviously that's the Met channel, and one of the ones who wanted Soto on the team, he said, "Do you think that Pete Alonso did him in? He's done." And the other 4 people on the show looked at him like he was nuts. He said, "Listen, that's not make or break him. It was a bad break for him, but I don't think he's thinking about that right now. Right now, he's thinking about being on the Yankees, building up the 1 year contract for himself. He's getting comfortable, and if he gets comfortable, look out, American League, and look out, baseball. I don't care, Dodgers or not. Better watch out because if you get Loizaga back healthy." And you have that now a three-headed monster. You only have to go 5, 6 innings, and then go ahead, Ed. I'll take my chances with these three.
And I think Loizaga is expected back in what, late May, early June,
Yeah, yeah,
Late May.
like
yeah.
around Memorial Day.
I had in a little pregame this morning. People waking up early for the latest scores and everything. That they had said that he has 2 more practice sessions in Florida, and then if everything goes good, he's going on a rehab assignment. So I would say if everything rolls into place, we're looking like around Mother's Day, the teens of May, and that would be awesome. Oh my God, that would be super. The Yankees would. That would. I'm telling you. You can't talk enough about it, but I don't want to jinx it. Right now things are going well. People are healthy. We're going to get healthier. Clark Smith pitched, pretty decent. Warren, well, we've got to wake that up. Was not obviously not impressed with him, and we can't have that bullpen every time bail him out. Sooner or later, it's not going to happen. Yarborough, he's a trooper, man. He threw what, so 63, 50, 59, whatever.
53 is what Jonathan said.
He was awesome. He really saved us, and who knows?
Actually, Jazz saved us. That double play that he had in the third inning, took it up the middle, hit the bag, and made the throw to first.
Yes, yes.
Killed that bases loaded rally that they had running.
Yes.
So what do you think about that call that got him kicked out?
I think it was bullshit. I think Jazz was right 100%. That was a freaking horrible ass call. My wife was sitting down watching it, and she's like, that guy can't see. That was a horrible call. And my wife, she purviews baseball, but if she's calling it a bad pitch, it's bad.
Oh yeah.
That's
No
that's
question.
a case for the robo umps.
Say again?
A case for the robo umps.
I'm telling you. I am telling you, these guys are making it easy.
I think the robo umps will come eventually. I know the umpires and the union to represent the umpires will complain, but they cannot make so many mistakes and expect the league to just stand by.
Even look at the bag. Volpe. That guy called him out. Volpe was past the bag when the ball hit the glove. Had to go to a freaking challenge and get the play overturned.
Well, then they wonder why we want to go to the robot umpires, and what people are picking on them.
See, here in Virginia, we've got the Norfolk Tides, the Baltimore Orioles AAA affiliate, and in the International League, they play 6-game series. The first 3 games, they have the robo assist, where the players are able to challenge balls and strikes. Be it pitcher.
Head.
Right, exactly. And it's a quick challenge. It's done. The second 3 games of the set, they go into full Death Star mode where all the balls and strikes are being called by the robo-ump. The players hate it. Pitchers hate it. Fans hate it. I don't think we'll ever get to a situation where we're going to pull a human off the field and use electronic doodads. But it's very I've seen it for years down in the International League, and it's very effective.
Regardless what they do in the future with that, they always will need an ump because they're always going to be called at the plate that cannot be done by a robot. If you have a throw home at the plate, yes, someone has to be there to call them safe or out.
Hey, we're
The
available. We could do it. I'll
Well,
be
the
more than happy to stand there.
well, you seem like you're big enough to wear the old style padding that they had in the 80s.
All right, all right. Are you telling me I'm Man Mountain Mike or something? I mean,
No,
come on. I'm on
but
diet. I'm losing, baby. I'm losing.
but I remember how I remember how umps used to dress with the padding that what 3 inches thick, and they just wear it like an apron.
Oh yeah. I like the outside chest protector. I thought the umpires were more protected, and I thought they called a better game. To be honest with you, I don't know how you feel about that, Ken. Shout out to John the Beagle Dad. How you doing? Are you happy that the Yankees won again, baby? I could get used to this, guys. I love it.
as a ball player, former collegiate athlete, uh, coach, manager, I've always hated umpires. I don't care what level they're at. I always think they make bad calls, and that's just my perspective. Of course, when I was on the bump, I never thought I threw a ball either. So
Well, you used to throw. You told the audience about 93, 94 at one time, right?
yep, I did. Then I
Wow.
had 2 reconstructive surgeries on my shoulder,
Oh, wow.
and my father took me up to the orthopedic surgeon for the Kansas City Royals. My last surgery, he said that I had enough tendons to repair the arm, but my professional pitching career was over with.
Wow.
So
I had, for me, I had a lot of power. I had a lot of power when I hit the ball. I could always hit a ball a long way.
Awesome.
One time, I even called my shot, just like
Really?
Babe Ruth.
Okay, Babe Ruth Jr.
Jonathan Ruth,
I pointed to center field. 2 pitches later, I hit it over the house in center field.
Whoa. Oh, was that you that hit me on the head?
Maybe
I got a point with you. I
this,
remember that. That hit me in the neck, man.
this
Now
was
you know
in,
what?
this
Now
was
I
in
know I got a little
2005.
ready.
This was 20 years ago.
I was alive, you know.
yeah.
No, listen,
I will tell you though, some of the things that I brought up in my pregame was the high velocity that the Rays have. Those guys have incredible speed coming off the rubber, and that doesn't just stop at their rotation. Their bullpen has got some throwers down there too. They got that left-handed kid throwing 102.
I have I guess a discussion about that, and maybe this will you will have a better understanding due to being a former pitcher. But do you think, especially over the last 20 years, the average fastball has risen about, I would say, 3 or 4 miles an hour? Because in the 90s, it was. I think at one time in the Book of World Records, they had Nolan Ryan throwing the fastest pitch at 98 miles an hour, and
Oh,
now people are throwing 105. And I think that was the 93 Book of World Records with 98 miles an hour. But do you think the increased velocity has contributed to a lot more arm injuries?
I think there are several factors. I think that they now have these pitching labs where they put pitchers in to measure metrics like velocity, and I think the bigger one is spin rate. You're contorting your arm in very, very unnatural positions that cause stress on your forearm, your elbow area. If you've noticed, a lot of the Tommy John surgeries that are required, the UCL repairs, happen either in spring training or within the first 6 weeks of the actual season. Part of the reason that I think is these guys come out and they're not actually doing what we used to do in the old days and work up your velocity and getting your breaking balls working. These guys come out of the hopper and they are full tilt.
So they're not using the full 6 weeks of warm up. They're going from 0 to 100 on day one instead of building it up over the course of 6 weeks.
And you look at a pitcher like Nolan Ryan,
Yeah.
who was a high velocity guy. He pitched for 20 years and was
26.
injured once.
Amazing.
So
And he never had Tommy John. Neither
no,
did
he did
Nolan
not.
Ryan. Neither did Randy Johnson. He was a similar pitcher with a high velocity.
But they did it right. They worked their way up to get to that velocity. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at Ryan.
So
Ryan,
why don't they teach young pitchers to work up to the velocity rather than going 0 to 100 in 5 seconds? They can go 0 to 100 in 5 hours.
but
Yeah.
you have to remember too, back in the day, you didn't have travel AAU teams. You didn't have people with jug guns measuring speed and all that other crap at high school.
Right.
And these high school athletes know that you have to have a good spin rate. You have to have high velocity to get looked at for Division I type schools. You also have to have those things. One pitcher that I always lean back on is Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux did not have high velocity with his pitches. He was not incredibly great with breaking stuff, but the guy was the most accurate pitcher I've ever seen. He could hit a point anywhere
I think
in the zone.
I think Greg Maddux and Mariano were the two most accurate pitchers.
But if you look at Maddux analytically nowadays, he wouldn't even get an invite to spring training.
Well, I think that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with evaluating pitchers. They seem to evaluate speed and spin rate rather than accuracy and control.
Don't disagree with you even one bit on that one, Jonathan.
And John the Beagle Dad says Maddux was his favorite non-Yankee pitcher. Well, you know what? He came that close to signing with the Yankees. The story that he was taken to Broadway play, and then something had happened, and they never got back to him, and he went to Atlanta. But he was on his way to sign with the New York Yankees, without a doubt.
Why didn't that go through? Why didn't they get back to him?
Well, the true story is that the Yankees were taking him to a Broadway play, and it was something developed. The Yankees had to cancel that, and the next thing you know, it just didn't happen. But he got very close to signing with the. If they would have went to that Broadway play, the Yankees would have had Greg Maddux for at least 7 years, 100%. And God knows how many more.
If they had Maddux for 7 years, and that would be what, from 94 to 2001?
Yes.
7 years?
Yeah.
They probably would have won 96, 97, 98, 99, 2001. Five.
Right.
They could have won 5 straight.
But the icing on the cake,
95.
no pitcher wanted to come to the Yankees. They ended up signing Jimmy Key while he was on a ship. He was on a cruise, and his wife was the agent, and they signed the deal while they were on the cruise in the beginning of 1996. 96. Yes,
It was 96.
And that's how they ended up with Jimmy Key. Nobody wanted to come. I guess they were afraid of the short. There were a lot of right-handed pitchers, and nobody wanted to challenge that wall. They figured, they're going for the big bucks and everything. So, let's go to a stadium that's big. But as it turned out, Jimmy Key used Yankee Stadium as a lefty to his advantage. He was awesome. I still believe it. I mean, yeah, you could say Wetland, Mariano Rivera, and the crew with Derek Jeter.
Oh my God.
Wetland
Wetland was one of those guys that gave me a freaking heart attack every time he came in to close a game.
And the biggest disappointment was Brian Taylor.
Oh God, oh God, that fight cost him millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. I like the comment from Sean Browning. Honey, we got an offer while he's talking about Jimmy Keys. So that was pretty cool. That year was crazy. I mean, they introduced bringing back Darryl Strawberry, also Dwight Gooden. They came back on 4th of July, basically. That was George Steinbrenner's birthday. And he was doing a bang with it. And it was amazing. People, oh my God, what are they doing? And George would just say, give it a chance. They deserve another chance. In the meantime, Dwight Gooden had about 14 chances. He just couldn't get it right. And the same thing with Strawberry. They're the first ones to admit that George Steinbrenner is the one that not only saved their pitching, but saved their lives. So I know they have a source. I know they're really lifelong Mets, but and I guess they don't want to come out and say it, but they have a very, very strong alliance with George Steinbrenner and the Yankees for those years.
And in addition to Maddox, there is another signing choice that also hurt the Yankees a lot, and that was the decision to sign Sheffield over Guerrero.
Yes, Sheffield was good, but Guerrero
was better and younger.
I bet you if Guerrero signed with the Yankees, we probably would have his little boy, who's not so little anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you can
we
keep
would
that fat
probably have
sack
the
of crap.
2004 World Series.
Yeah, that was the same thing with Ken Griffey and his dad. Ken Griffey, the father, senior, was a good Yankee, made some incredible plays in left field. But I mean, when you're blaming the Yankees for something that Billy Martin did, and the whole organization is tagged as very bad. I mean,
Wow.
you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at Billy Martin. What do the poor players have to do with or wanting to be in New York? I mean, darn well that Billy Martin was not going to manage you here with the Yankees because it was hire Billy, fire Billy, hire Billy, fire Billy. It was a round table.
You said, I remember earlier you said, maybe I could be mistaken, but you had a discussion with George Steinbrenner. Yeah. Once.
Yes.
Did he ever tell you why he fired and hired Billy Martin so much?
I try to stay away from that, but it was like a chuckle. He would, I think he really felt sorry for Billy. And there's a way to feel sorry for someone and then put it with the team. He should have taken it in content just like he did with Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry. He didn't. Billy Martin was his boy, was his man. He felt like he was a father figure to him, and that's what just happened with that.
I think his relationship with Billy Martin damaged his relationship with Yogi Berra after the '84 season.
Well, they fired him. Yeah, they fired him.
That's why they fired him, because they wanted Billy Martin back.
That was, I mean, listen.
And that might be one reason why Don Mattingly never got a chance with the Yankees, because they didn't want to have to fire him if it came to that.
And that's why Derek Jeter will never, always the rumors, have Derek Jeter the manager.
Derek Jeter wants if Derek Jeter is a part of the Yankees again, he will be as an owner. He doesn't want to manage.
Right. Or a general manager or at least co-general manager. I mean, let's face it, Cashman's not going to be here forever, although it seems that way. But we are lucky, no matter, everybody gets upset at him. But no GM, he studies the game. He knows the game. He's got money behind him with the Steinbrenners. He's got the analytics. He's got everything that a lot of teams wish they had. or they have half of what Cashman has. And
Well, our
you know,
fans are hard. Our fans are hard on Cashman, but the simple fact of life, he's been the Yankee GM for what 26 years now.
yes.
If you suck, you're not going to keep your job.
Well, yeah, and because but the problem with it is that when the Yankees hand out these big contracts and it doesn't pan out, we're stuck with them. So the fans get frustrated. The whole organization gets frustrated, and so that was that's a big problem. Yankees have to really invest in a player like obviously if they knew what was happening with DJ LeMahieu, they would have never signed him. But he was doing great. The fans were like, "You got to sign him. You got to sign him. Don't let him go to the Red Sox." Imagine him in Fenway Park. Just like they were trying to bait Cashman this year with them signing Alex Bregman. I did not want Alex Bregman, but let's face it, he is a perfect fit in Fenway Park because he hits those line drives. In Yankee Stadium, a lot of them are going to be outs, but over there it's going to be doubles and double. That's the thing with Verdugo. Verdugo had all those doubles. Where were they going? Off the Green Monster. So when he was hitting the ball to left field, they were being caught. So I mean, I'm not taking blame away from Verdugo, but when you come from Fenway, look at Wade Boggs. They thought the Red Sox thought his career was over. When he came to the Yankees, they said, "Oh my God, they got him too late," and he played terrific for the 4 or 5 years he was with us. So
4 years. It was 93 to 97.
yeah, so but again,
John the Beagle Dad has a note that Verdugo was called up by the Braves.
Yes. Thank you, John, for that. He was called up, and I'm not sure if he was put in the lineup, today, or he'll definitely be in the lineup, I guess, tomorrow. But
they need outfield help after Profar took the 80-game suspension for PED use.
right. Yeah, that was the Yankees dodged a big bullet. I know a lot of fans wanted Profar because he'd be the leadoff hitter and this and that. Wow, what a dodge of a mistake that would have been. Oh, jeez, we would have never heard the end of it. Never. It was bad enough we had to go all winter after Christmas with Juan Soto problem. Imagine, oh my God, I not even to think about it. So, but again, the bottom line is we are here today, and what we have, and we have a pretty damn good ball club, and I I hope it continues. There are players that are hot that obviously might come back to earth a little bit, but on the good note that we have a lot of slumpers right now that are going to get hot, and if they just get a little hot with what they're doing. I mean, can you imagine just adding somebody like a Giancarlo Stanton in between these guys? Again, the old saying is, who do you pitch to? Who do you want to pitch to? I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm not dissatisfied with the lineup that we have right now.
Right.
This lineup is capable of scoring between 5 and 6 runs a night. You've got young players that are developing, and they will get better.
Yes.
You want to cash it in for Stanton, who has been hurt a lot throughout his Yankee career. You've got DJ, who is teetering on the injured list a lot over the last 3 seasons. So,
okay. Well, I mean,
another thing to remember about Stanton for everybody who remembers is starting next year the Yankees will save $10 million on his contract.
Yeah, the Marlins are picking up 10 mil on the last 3 years of his contract.
Yes.
yeah,
So That's an extra $10 million that the Yankees have to spend somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at next year, though, we obviously won't have Goldschmidt coming back.
No.
You have two people in the bullpen who I think are essential, Devin Williams being one of them, and Luke Weaver being the other. They're both free agents at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We've been trying to address a third base need for 3 years now. So those are 4, maybe 5 spots. And is Loizaga on a 1-year contract also?
Yeah.
And an option.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's an option there, definitely.
Is it a team option, player option?
Team
Probably a team option.
Okay.
option.
So we have the potential that we have to fill 3 bullpen arms. Our rotation, we're not going to lose anybody out of there yet. You've got the possibility if Bellinger opts out, then you definitely need a first baseman and you'll need an outfielder.
I don't think he's going anywhere. He likes it.
I think Bellinger, although he can opt out, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Yankees sign him to a deal. Oh, and I heard they could go after Murakami.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's another Japanese player. Not convinced that he's primarily a third baseman.
Yeah.
He also plays first base. If you look at his Japanese numbers, he's got a lot of power, but he's got the power hitter ailment. He has a lot of strikeouts too.
Yes.
So, hence, do we truly need another bat that can hit a long ball and strikes out 150, 175, 200 times a year?
No.
I don't think so.
No. And
if you're looking at the Dodgers this year, the one player that is going to be off their roster is Max Muncy next season. Well, third baseman Murakami is a prototypical type fit for that team because they have a good repertoire with the Japanese players, actually the KBO players too. But in the Yankees, we haven't won a series in quite a number of years, so the allure of being a New York Yankee isn't as appealing as it once was.
right. No, you're right. Well, you know what?
One reason for that is the Yankees need to build up the farm system, and the farm system has gotten really crushed the last 2 years with both trades and the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's weird. I'm just sitting here thinking it would be great somehow if the Yankees could work out during the season, go off the board a little bit, sign one of those relievers, especially Luke Weaver. Now, that's a little scary, both of them. And they are definitely, without a doubt, so important to us where we want to go and what we want to do. So I don't know. It's going to be a tight race with that.
Well, with Weaver right now, the last year his deal with us, he's on a $2.5 million contract. Very, very, very cheap.
Yeah.
Devin Williams is on an $8 million contract. Also very, very cheap for a closer. So we're going to have to pony up some cash. And right now, as it sets, our payroll with the guys coming off the books is already sitting at $281 million next year before we sign anybody.
How much?
281 mil. So we're over the second level of the threshold for.
Wow. That's a little. Oh my God. That's not good. That's not good. I was just thinking, Ken, who was the second baseman or the infielder in the offseason that the Dodgers finally traded? I thought it was Muncy.
No.
Who was it? There was another. Then there was another second baseman.
He's on the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux.
Oh, Lux. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that you're right. And that's who it was. I knew that. I knew they were thinking about trading Muncy. Muncy
Yep.
had that run. That if you remember that run last year, where what he had he was like 13 for 13. I mean, incredible, crazy numbers. When he took off, the Dodgers actually took off. So that was kind of nuts. Now looking at tomorrow, guys, it's going to be a pretty round up pitching matchup. Tomorrow, the Yankees may have a hands full with Rasmussen going tomorrow. What are your thoughts on Rasmussen against Rodon for tomorrow night, guys?
Well, it depends on what version of Rodon we get.
Yeah.
If we get the guy that doesn't freaking break down because of a bad umpiring call or walk too many people, he could stand up against any pitcher in the league. It's a question of what his temperament is going to be. Like I says, he's pitched a decent amount of innings for us in all of his starts. His strikeout rate is high. He's done well with regard to that, but his long ball rate is ridiculous. 36 home runs in the last 36 games.
That's got to stop. I mean, we all know that. That's got to, without a doubt, he's got to keep the ball. And in that ballpark, I don't know. And those free swingers, man, as you can see, they swing at everything. They always swing on the first pitch. And then if you notice, like the next 2 or 3, they don't swing at. So it's either going to be 3 balls or it's going to be like 2 and 2 or 1 and 2. But they have it. You can see the strategy. If you really look at a Tampa game, they swing at the first pitch, and then the next 2, unless it's like just gravy for them, they leave it alone. And they foul off a lot of pitches. And that was, so
well, that's good. That's good instructional league. The Tampa Bay organization is top flight. I freaking hate trading with Tampa Bay.
yes.
Every time you make a trade with that damn team, Tampa Bay always comes out on the top. You may think that you got the goods up front, but in the long run, they end up getting you.
Yeah, it happens. That's why you get frustrated. I mean, it's like, these no names come up. Base hit, double, steal the base, the relief pitcher striking everybody out. I mean, it's so frustrating. Yankees have names and names and names, and they just can't beat them. I mean, every time you beat them, it's like you do a dance because you're happy. I mean, enough's enough. I'm losing to that team.
Historically, when Madden was their manager, outstanding manager, did some implementation like the shift that changed fundamental baseball. Madden also had the opener, which changed a lot of things in baseball. Cash is a very, very good manager also.
Oh, he is.
Organization, they're top flight. They compete even when they have nobody.
Yeah, no, I agree. They he's a bed of roses. And we forget that the manager was on the 2009 New York Yankee team World Series. We kind of forget that, but yeah, he was. So
I remember now.
Yeah, he definitely was on that team, but I mean, very, very little, but he was. So, well, guys, in closing, I think we touched on a lot of topics. Just quickly. A little insight to tomorrow. Give me an early what you're looking for, and what do you think is going to happen? Because I mean, we will discuss it. Obviously, the same time, usually about 5:15. Hopefully, you guys can join. What do you think about tomorrow? Both a little prediction.
I think tomorrow will all be about Rodon. Which Rodon are we seeing? Are we seeing the dominant Rodon for the first 6 innings of the game? Or are we gonna see the Rodon that breaks down in the 7th inning? That is the question.
I think that the warm weather is going to play better with him with his slider, his changeup. You're going to see more movement out of it. It'll keep the barrels of the Rays bats off of his stuff. When it's warmer, his fastball velos tends to go up too. So he's going to be pitching in warm weather for the first time since the
Spring training.
actually the first game of the season against the Brewers, where he pitched well. His opponent, Rasmussen, he's top flight. The dude's got a .60 ERA. He doesn't give up runs, but he has the same type of pitch repertoire that Taj Bradley has. We got to him, and patient at bats, not free swinging, will serve us well. I think we actually have a reasonable shot at taking tomorrow night's game also.
Well, yeah, the like I said, the way we started tonight was gangbusters. You know, there was a little hit by Paul G, then a nice up the middle of Rice started it off, and then Judge got a hit, and then they went cold turkey. And you know, they there's no way you got to come out of that first, especially against that pitcher. You let him off the hook. You totally let him off the hook. And this is the problem with the Yankees. This clutch hitting is just, you know, I mean, really, it's not there.
But that's typical throughout the league too, if you really think about it.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying, like, the bottom line is, when you know, sooner or later we got to get that guy in from third base, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, that goes without saying. So,
well, Rice banged one in from second and third tonight. So
yeah.
Well, maybe Rice can be the new clutch hitter.
Let's hope so. I mean, you know, obviously the other guy's going to get hot. Maybe this will put a little fire on the Chaz being thrown out of the game and all of that. So, you know, there's a possibility there. And you know, tonight really the highlights were really Ben Rice. I mean, every you know, you turn on social media, every play is basically Ben Rice, and it's great to see. You know, kudos to him because he deserves it. He totally deserves it. So basically, guys, in closing, you know, last statements. Talk about a little bit to tomorrow, and your final thoughts. Whoever wants to go first.
my final thoughts: let's go Yankees.
That's plain enough. Okay, let's go Yankees. Jonathan, you?
My final thoughts: as long as Rodon can keep his head on his shoulder and not get in his own mind, I think he's gonna have a good game. It's gonna be a solid pitching outing, and the first guy who makes a mistake is probably gonna be the game. I think I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is a solid pitcher's duel.
Okay, well, that's I feel the same way, but we do have you know, all night to think about it, all night to see what's going on. Any Yankee news, and that's what I want to tell everybody. If there's anything that happens after the game or during the night, I have that new little feature about 8 o'clock in the morning where I give updates to the channel and send it out. And I think it's a nice little spread. You never know what'll happen when you wake up. Might see something new or a late score that you didn't know about, or any news in baseball in Yankee country. You will know, and it's a nice little feature that a lot of people have been very happy about. Like this, they don't have to go to different radio stations or turn on ESPN or all of that. So I'm happy to do it as long as I can do it, and that's a nice little new feature on the show. And little by little, there'll be more features. But in closing, guys, I want to say a big thank you to both of you. Great show. Great knowledge. Thank you again. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you hopefully on the streams the next few days. But if not, happy Good Friday coming up soon. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So happy Good Friday to everyone. Of course, just love your family, love being with there, and for everyone celebrating any holiday, by all means, a shout out to you and your families. We all love you, and come back to New York Yankee Mania next week. We get back to normal, and again, a shout out to Passover, of course, with everyone, and thank you. And like Ken says, let's go Yankees. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.